Testing, 1, 2.
Testing.
Testes. 1, 2, 3. Testes.
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 Testicle. Exegol.
Exegol.
Exegol. Is that what it is?
Exegol?
Exegol?
It's so
I
fucking
think you guys are
stupid.
making shit up.
No, that's the name of the planet.
Hmm?
The Sith world.
Oh.
It's just Exegol. Exegol. I think of Excadrill from like Pokemon. Exegol.
All right, I think we're good. All right.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious.
Hey!
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back. It's been a while. It's been we took a little Christmas break, Christmas vacation.
This is Let's All Go to the Lobby, by the way. I'm T-Kettle.
I'm Nico, and we got a special guest.
Hi, I'm Jacob.
That's right. He's been on here before. We talked about our best animated films of all time. And Jacob is a huge Star Wars fan, right? Would you call yourself a fan?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I love Star Wars.
Okay. Because
I hate Star Wars.
Me too, bro.
Then you're a true fan if you hate Star Wars.
It's both.
Yeah, that's
There's
right.
a lot of love and a lot of hate.
That's right. Our last podcast was also about Star Wars. I'm sure you remember. Is Star Wars even good?
And I think this confirmed it.
This confirmed it? What do you say?
No!
No, but it is. Like, at the same time, it is and it isn't.
Well, remember how I told you I was going to rewatch all the Star Wars films to determine this?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't make it past 40 minutes of episode 1.
We watched
I tried. I couldn't
1
do it.
and 2.
Oh
We
my
should have
God.
watched 3.
We haven't gotten to it yet, but we will. We're watching all of them.
Mm-hmm.
God, they're awful.
They're so bad.
1 and 2 are like...
One's not
so
that
bad.
bad.
Okay,
One's
so,
not
so
that bad.
this...
I'm just gonna
so
say
let's
one's
put,
not
let's
that
put it this
bad.
way. Spoiler alert. This is probably my least favorite movie of the year. This movie. Those two movies are some of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't like the prequels, as you guys know. I like the first. I think episode 1 and 2 are real bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Episode 2 is definitely the worst thing the franchise has to offer, and it's not even close. I thought it was close the first time I watched Rise of Skywalker, but it's really not.
It's
not at
it's
all.
not.
And
I
then-
think the prequels are a whole nother level of bad.
They're a different kind of bad. They're like bad in like literally the most opposite way possible.
I don't know if you saw my Letterboxd thing, but my favorite point in the whole thing is they let a cartoon character be in charge of the Senate.
Yeah,
Yes,
which
Jar
is
Jar
Jar
Binks
Jar
is in
Binks,
charge.
which is fucking ridiculous.
He allows Emperor Palpatine, soon to be Emperor Palpatine, take control of everything.
he
It's
gives
great.
him emergency
Chancellor,
power.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, the
Idiot.
whole like pro Marcus Rome situation, democracy dies, that kind of thing.
What's amazing to me is like George Lucas always goes on spouts about how the prequels or Star Wars in general are films made for kids, yet he puts in like Senate meetings and all these like politics in his movies, and I'm just like, how are these movies made for kids? These are the most boring ass things. Like if I'm bored, like these kids are gonna be so
Jar Jar
bored.
Binks is why
Yeah.
saves the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you're like 10 years old, you maybe like Jar Jar Binks.
I'm telling you, I told this to my friend. The reason people like the prequels is because they have fond memories of watching the theaters in the kids. I'm sorry, oh my god, watching the movies in the theaters as a kid.
Yep.
They laughed at the poop jokes. They laughed at Jar Jar Binks. They liked the 4-minute lightsaber battle in the 2.5-hour like political drama.
It's a good 4-minute
Which
lightsaber
they-
battle.
Which
Yeah.
they cross-cut the whole time.
The whole time. They have 4 interlocking climactic storylines happening at the exact
And
same
only
time.
one is climatic.
I know. And they also have fond memories of buying the toys, playing the video games around that time. So they grow up thinking these films are good. But they're not.
And they
They're
haven't
bad.
watched them. They have no excuse.
And they have no...
They have no
exactly.
excuse because it's on Disney Plus,
Yes, exactly.
and everyone has Disney Plus.
Everyone has Disney Plus.
And everything, all their arguments relating to why the prequels are good are just like, oh, because, you know, like they're not like legitimate reasons. They're just like nostalgic reasons.
Yeah.
So, you know. But anyway, we're here talking about Rise of Skywalker. So, just overall thoughts here. I think we're all in agreement. This film is not great.
Not good.
No, not
Bad.
great.
Bad.
Not great.
Bad, some might say.
I will say, I do think I like it more than you guys. A little bit.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
I do. But it's still not a great movie. I enjoyed it as a action film, I guess, but as a concluding chapter of not just a trilogy, but as 9 films, I think it really fucking missed the mark so bad. All right, where to even begin? Okay, let's just start from the beginning, I guess.
The dead speaks!
The dead speak!
The dead speak! What a great first line.
I know, dude.
That's the highlight of the movie. It gets worse at every point from that point.
Oh my gosh.
It's bad. It's not a very good movie. I don't know, like, it's the premise that Palpatine has to come back, has to return for the epic 9-movie saga. The Skywalker sequence is honestly offending to me. It is terrible. I know why they brought him back. It's because J.J. Abrams got left in the dark. He passed the proverbial lightsaber to Rian Johnson at the end of Episode 7, and then, like Luke Skywalker, Rian Johnson took the lightsaber and just threw it over his shoulder. Was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make my own thing." And to be fair, it's got merits. It's still a bad movie, but it's like Last Jedi has merits.
I actually really like The Last Jedi, but that's just me.
I think there's like 20 to 30 really good minutes of Last Jedi, and the rest is pretty forgettable or bad. Like, everything on Canto Bight I think's bad. But anyways.
Yeah, Canto Bight was pretty bad.
So Rian Johnson throws the lightsaber over the proverbial cliff, and then he leaves you with really nothing. He kills the main bad guy, throws him away with no backstory. The backstory is actually he's just clones.
Yeah.
Palpatine's just making. He's got like a batch of just like Snoke's floating in a tube,
Yeah.
which at the very beginning.
And they really couldn't foreshadow that in any way because of Rian Johnson.
Well, the thing is, for me, it's like this is the biggest problem of the series is that the whole new trilogy is that they did not, before they even shot a single frame of Force Awakens, they did not know where this series was going. They were making it up as they went along. Marvel plans everything out. Maybe not like to a T, but they know where everything is going. Star Wars did not do that, and I think that was their biggest mistake because this whole series just feels like a tug of war between two directors.
They wrote it like a TV show.
Yeah,
they wrote it like Lost.
Well, the original director of Episode 9 was Colin Trevorrow, but then after the back, because they try to do the whole Marvel formula where they have different directors take the reins, but that just doesn't work with a trilogy like Star Wars. You need a singular vision, kind of overarching against all the movies.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be
and
nice.
the fact that Palpatine is even in this movie just proves to me that they did not have a roadmap, like, to know where to go. That he's the big bad of the series out of nowhere. All of a sudden, they don't even explain how he comes back, but all of a sudden he's the big bad of the series. When the first two movies, no foreshadowing.
It's uninspired.
Completely, like, there's no hint toward him coming back at all.
The dark side of the Force gives one very unnatural powers to extend their own life. It's easy.
Yeah, cinematic.
Just extend
That's
your
it.
life in space after you were blown up in a Death Star.
Yeah.
And that's all they give you. They bring back the line from
Revenge.
From Revenge, and they're like, okay, that'll explain it.
Which is the best line in Revenge.
It is. That's the best scene.
That's
in
the best scene
Revenge.
in Revenge. Yeah.
Best scene in the prequels, honestly, in my opinion.
That's like this movie in a nutshell, though. I feel like all the parts that I kind of liked are like mostly nostalgia bait. They're just like, hey, you see, it's the Emperor's throne room in Episode 6. Hey, like, Han Solo's back. Harrison Ford's here to save the day, and he says, "I know." It's like, hey, we got all this stuff, and it's like, come on, man.
Well, let's like
Lando's back.
Yep. Yeah, it's like they wanted to move forward while also
acknowledging the past, which is what J.J. Abrams always does. But I feel like this movie has so much condensed in it. It should have been 2 movies. I don't think there would have been. I know they want to stick with the whole trilogy thing. I don't think fans would have been pissed off if they did an Episode 10. Honestly, if they wanted to really keep the trilogy thing, they should have just done a Part 1, Part 2 thing. If they really wanted to keep, technically it's still 3 trilogies, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like they were trying to like hold in on the trilogy tradition, but it just kind of suffered. The movie suffered because of it. Because this movie is J.J. Abrams' Episode 8 and 9 in one. Completely.
Yeah, that's
it
what
moves
it is.
way too fast.
It's so fast.
It's so convoluted. It's like my friend said it best. It's like a video game. It's just going from point A to get this item, to go to this place, to go to point B, to get this item, to go to this, to go to this.
It's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't want Indiana Jones in my Star Wars movie.
It's just
that scene where they're hyperspace skipping in the very beginning is like the whole script of this movie.
Yes, pretty much. I did think that was kind of a cool sequence, though.
It is cool, but like once again, like I guess all these TIE fighters just have the same tech that the Star Destroyer had in Episode 8, because the whole premise of Episode 8 is you can finally
Wait, you're talking about the
track people.
All the ships that have the...
Yeah, you can like track people jumping through hyperspace now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I guess all the TIE fighters can do that.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because that's what happens. But I don't know, whatever. Like they already established they don't give a fuck about trying to keep
Physics.
keeping, well, not even physics, because Star Wars is like,
Yeah.
who gives a shit about physics, but like keeping the internal consistency of the world together. Like they already started like not giving a shit about that in episode 8, and now episode 9 like doesn't give a single fuck.
Yeah, I mean they basically just make up their own rules as they go.
Yeah, like the Force is now, it does some cool stuff. Like there's some of the new Force powers in here that I really like the Force healing I think is cool.
I think it's cool, but then that's another thing about Star Wars, and it doesn't play with its own consistency. Is like, if the Force can heal stuff, it's like, why didn't Anakin heal his mom in episode 2 then?
Well, I think that like, the Emperor has like a throwaway line where like, this is the first time in generations that somebody can do the thing.
Oh really?
I think there's a throwaway line like that.
I mean, Baby Yoda can do it.
Baby Yoda can. Well, Baby Yoda's. We'll get to Baby Yoda. I think there should be a Mandalorian preface at the end. A hope, a glimmering star in a galaxy far, far away. But yeah, they totally just throw out consistency for consistency's sake.
What do you guys think about like Rey, Finn, and Poe? Just the three main characters of this trilogy. Annoying.
So Rey spends like 95% of her story arc trying to find out if she's a good guy or a bad guy. So I don't really know anything about her, and I don't really care. And everybody's been saying how she's like a Mary Sue, she never takes damage, which is true. She's pretty much perfect. Poe in this movie was pretty much insufferable to me. He was just annoying from the get-go. He's just like, oh, we keep secrets from each other now. This wouldn't be happening if you would come with us on missions. Like he, and then Finn, like they don't even know what to do. They don't even know what to do with Finn.
He got the biggest axe.
At the beginning, or in episode 7, they said something about like, I've seen these eyes before or whatever. Like, what the fuck did she mean by that? You know, when she was looking at her when she had the lightsaber and stuff like that. I don't even know her name.
The thing with Rey, Finn, and Poe for me is like, I think that Force Awakens did a good job setting up these three new characters, right? And then Last Jedi, love it or hate it, I think, because I actually do like the movie as a standalone, it didn't do a lot to further the development of these characters. It didn't do enough for a second parter. No. And now this movie, I feel like these characters are just very hollow. They're just very hollow now. Like Rey doesn't really have much of a personality, neither do Finn and Poe. They don't really, like, they just don't...
Not like they did in the first one.
Exactly. They don't have a lot of character development anymore. It kind of halted, and now I'm just feel like I'm watching three characters just go through the motions now, you know? And I don't necessarily think Rey is a Mary Sue, but, like, because, I mean, she gets her ass beat by Kylo on the... she has to call in, like, Leia to help or whatever, you know, but she was getting her ass beat there for a second on the Death Star. You know, she was about to lose that, you know, before Leia intervened. But speaking of that, let's go to the fourth quote-unquote main character. I think is the only good thing about, like, the only consistently great thing about this series, I think, is Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren is the best character.
Yes. And honestly, without Kylo Ren, I don't know, man.
I don't know. They kind of shafted him in this episode.
You think so?
A little bit. Like, he had such a dramatic change so quickly.
You see, I thought that too originally, but my friend actually brought me around to that scene where he goes back to the light side. I think that's actually probably my favorite scene of the movie because if you notice, like, his mom comes in and he dies at the exact same time as his mom. And then I was like, oh, but that came out of nowhere. And then my friend was like, yeah, but even throughout the series, he was having a hard time, like, doing the same thing he did.
He's been like ready to turn.
He's been ready to turn. Time. Like even in the Last Jedi, like he was about to blast his mom away and he couldn't do it. So like they've built it up a little bit, and like when he gets stabbed by Rey, like at the same time that his mom is like becoming one with the Force or whatever, or like dying, she dies. Like I thought that was kind of poetic how they die at the same time or whatever. I thought that was actually I think that was a good turn for him overall. You know.
Kylo's my favorite character in the whole series for sure.
Yeah,
it's like not even close.
Absolutely.
I take the turn fine. Like I think it's totally believable. Like in episode 7, like that's like he's an interesting character because he's like a dark side character that's like being almost turned to the light side like multiple times. Like he's having a hard time not going back to the light side, which is usually the opposite of what you see in these kind of things. Like he's like, I have to talk to like my grandpa's mask, or I need like the motivation to like do it. And then when he finally like bops his dad. Like he's like got to force himself to do it.
Yeah.
See, the way I see it is like in this movie, they didn't really foreshadow that he was going to be changed. For me, it was I saw it as like he wanted to bring Rey onto his own side. Like I don't think he wanted to be like separate from good and evil. Like,
I think no matter what, he just wanted to be on the same side as Rey.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I think the turn was a good was
yeah,
probably,
I'm fine with it. It
I'm
led
fine
to
with the
probably
turn.
it had led to some of the coolest moments in the movie.
Yeah,
sure.
and I like how Han Solo came back as Force Ghost because when I saw him, I was like, oh no, come on. But then he actually kind of served a purpose, and then I was not a Force Ghost.
Yeah,
but
he's just a memory.
Just a memory.
Kylo
But like
Ren's-
they had like the same conversation from Episode 7, but it has like a different connotation. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like Harrison Ford already played he hit the reset button on the video game and then chose all the correct dialogue answers.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of the wrong ones, and he
exactly.
picked in Episode 7, and then you got the ending he wanted.
Yeah.
I thought they were just the same answers. But they had different meanings.
Yeah, they had different meaning. Harrison Ford, while he's been gone, it's like putting some points in charisma. He's like making sure it all works out for him.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the best scene in the whole movie.
That's one of the better ones.
But I think just for me, one of the biggest problems of the movie is the writing as a whole is very contrived. There's a lot of parts where they coincidentally go into this random quicksand pit, right? And then they go through it and they just happen to find what they need.
Yeah.
And it's not even hidden very well. It's just like on a shelf. And then it's like, and that whole like knife thing is kind of ridiculous. It's like
The knife thing's dumb as hell.
it's like that makes no sense how it matches up perfectly
It's
with
like
the
ancient
wreckage.
Sith knife that if you pull out the protractor at the end of it can perfectly point out where the throne room was on the destroyed Death Star. It's only been there for like 20, 30 years.
Who the fuck made that? And also, what the tides change, man.
Yeah.
Tides change. That's not gonna be. It's not gonna look like that.
I would-
No, there's tons of stuff like that. Like what's her face from Episode 7, the little short.
Maz Kanata?
Yeah, Maz Kanata. She's there. Still don't know what the fuck she's all about. She
Still don't know
for
how she
some
got the
reason,
lightsaber.
She had Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Who looked into Finn's eyes?
Yeah. Like I still don't know why she's there or how she's there or
And
what
what's
purpose
her
she
purpose?
serves.
The writing is so contrived because of that, and it's like they don't explain much of anything where anything comes from. There's still a lot of like plot holes that are lingering. Like how did Maz Kanata get Luke's lightsaber? What was Finn trying to tell Rey? Because she's like, I gotta tell you something.
I think he's trying to say that he's either I love you or I'm force sensitive.
But he
Those are
doesn't
the two
tell
options.
her either though.
I think he was trying to say that he knew what Leia was going to say to her, that she was Palpatine.
Really?
I think that's
I
what
don't
it
think
was.
so.
I don't know. The movie didn't do a good enough job to explain what it was. Because when I
yeah,
saw it, I thought it was
actually.
like, oh, he's gonna confess his love.
Yeah, I think he was going to confess his love, and then he lost the Ray Bowl. So
The Ray Bowl.
Yeah, so I think it was by the end. It was like, hey, Ray, I can like feel the Force. Isn't that so cool? We're like,
I feel like
Force buddies.
I think it was supposed to be like love, and then like once they never answered it in the movie, they were just like,
It could have been anything.
it's classic Abrams where he like sets up something and like never comes through with it.
yeah, he's not good at finishing stories, is he? Like that's
That's what it feels like to me. I don't know. Like
Mm-hmm.
me and T-Cat like have very different opinions on how well Lost ends.
Uh-huh.
Probably the most famous thing that Abrams has touched.
Probably the most famous discussion in our entire household.
Yeah.
It's been going on for
But
at
like,
least 10 years.
so yeah, I don't like the way Lost ends. Kettle's fine with it or likes it.
I love it.
He loves it, but like for the most part, I think he sets up a lot of questions and just never comes through with it. Even in like his own movies, like I don't blame him. He didn't have much time to execute on some of the things he sets up in Episode 7. But like, it would have been really cool if, like Finn in particular, his like arc as like a turned stormtrooper mattered more than just like a one-off conversation with a new character they just threw in at the last minute who has like big woolly mammoth horse things that they like attack a Star Destroyer with.
Oh, you mean the girl he finds or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a shared history in being, former stormtroopers that were like abducted as kids. But that's like the most that whole like backstory represents in the whole movie. It's not much.
We'll get to that character too later in a second because I have a funny tidbit about that character that I don't know if you guys know, if you guys read about. But for me, the thing is like this movie has glimmers of promise. Like it introduces good ideas that I think if fleshed out more could have been fine. Like I'm in the camp where I don't think necessarily Rey should have been anyone important. I think it would have been cool if she was just a brand new character. I mean, I mean, why does everyone have to be connected to someone? But whatever. Okay, they want to connect to someone. Her being a Palpatine, I think, is okay. But it's like, flesh it out more. Who's Palpatine's son? How come he's not?
He did
evil?
not exist. I'm convinced there was no children before the script for this movie was made.
Like, who is he? Why is he not evil? He's the son of the most evil man in the universe, and he's not evil. Okay, that makes no sense.
Villager?
Yeah, he's just like a villager.
Just some dude.
Who had sex with the Emperor? Come on, let's just be real. Like, who really? Like, who?
Yeah, the Emperor, you can probably make someone do it for you. It's a dark road you're going down, but
still, they should have fleshed it all out more. They still should have fleshed it out of Rey being a Palpatine.
Well, it's because it's made up. They just like, whoops, we ran out of we don't have anything else to do. Let's pull up the Emperor.
Why can he summon thunderstorms?
Oh, I think that's actually my least favorite scene of the whole movie.
Thing.
Is when he shoots Force lightning at 1,000 ships at once, and then turns it onto Rey.
And then she blocks it with a single lightsaber.
She just kills him with his own lightning again. Like, how many times are you going to get blasted by your own lightning and die almost, or die, before you figure it the hell out, Palpatine? Right. Come on.
I mean, we're jumping all over the place here, but but the thing is, just overall, the writing is so lazy. Like, this is one of the most laziest parts of the movie for me is, okay, so the Knights of Ren, who by the way are fucking useless. They don't do anything. They show up, walk around, then get their ass beat at the very end. They show up, they kidnap Chewie, right, when they're on that planet. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Kylo Ren and Rey are, playing tug-of-war with this ship, trying to, save Chewie or whatever. And Rey, in a moment of anger, blows up the ship with Force lightning. And I was like, oh shit, this movie actually has some balls. They killed Chewie like that, right? No. Literally
5 minutes later.
90 seconds later, dude. Not even 5 minutes later. 90 seconds later, they reveal he's alive. But wait, how is he alive? He got away on a second ship that neither the characters in the movie nor the audience even saw. It's like, where was that? What? That's just lazy
bait and
writing.
switch.
That's just lazy writing. Yeah. That's lazy writing. You know what happened? I think they did kill Chewie, but then they feared the backlash. I don't know if it was Disney or Abrams or whatever. They feared the backlash and they did reshoots to make sure he came back alive.
I think it'd be kind of dumb. If you go onto Wikipedia and you see Chewbacca and you see he died Sith lightning by a light side person, that'd be kind of a dumb...
No, I don't know. I thought that would have been ballsy. I would have been finally this movie has stakes. You know what I mean? This movie that didn't have any stakes to it. And I think that kind of ruined the stakes right there. I think they should have kept him dead. Really.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. I really do.
You know who should have stayed dead? In air quotes, is C-3PO.
Yeah,
C-3PO finally has a hero moment in the whole 9, episode saga.
Thing,
just R2 just got to back up. He's because they even brought that up. They're like, well, what about R2? Does R2 have a backup memory for you? And he's like, R2 units are very unreliable. You must know this. And then no, R2's just fine.
That's the thing, dude. They do it again. The movie has no stakes. They kill or quote unquote kill a character and then bring him back right after because they feared the backlash. And I'm like, this movie doesn't have any balls. It wants to play it safe. And I'm like, at least The Last Jedi had balls to do something different to go against expectations. This was just we're going to play it safe to an absolute fault. They played it so safe to where it actually kind of ruined some of the story for me. You know? Yeah.
I think you have a point from earlier though where there are some things that I like. I was talking to my buddy Ed about it, and he just got out of the movie, called me, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, this part was so cool, and this part was so cool," and I was like, "Yeah, that part was pretty cool, actually. That part was cool."
Do you remember any specifics?
Chewie's reaction to Leia dying, that was really emotional. I felt that.
Yeah.
I think some of the action was cool. The snowy planet they were on that has Poe's backstory. Some of those scenes were cool. Bob and Frank was funny and entertaining.
I think they set up some cool stuff.
Yeah, so there's cool scenes, but I thought about it some more. I'm like, yeah, I guess I do like a lot of scenes in this movie. But then, if you really think about it, there are a million scenes in this movie that all go 1, 2, 3 back to back nonstop.
They don't connect as a whole.
Yeah, that I like 30 seconds here, I like 15 seconds here, I like 10 seconds here, but in between there's 5 minutes of just I don't like this, this is boring.
So you forget about it.
So you forget about it real quick. That's the other thing. I watched the half of the bag for this movie, and one line stuck to me struck me well at the end, and they were saying I could really see you liking this movie with a low IQ, which, if you like this movie, you don't have a low IQ, but the idea of them just shoving stuff in your face so fast that you can't even keep track of it all and you forget some of the bad stuff, makes sense to me.
But see, my best friend Nick, he loved this movie. Like, he absolutely loved it. I remember he texted me, because I told him my opinions about it. I'm like, this is probably the worst Star Wars film since the prequels. Like, this is not my favorite one. And he the first thing he texted me is like, dude, you're wrong. This movie was absolutely amazing. And I'm just like...
You're wrong.
Yeah, he's like, you're wrong. And I'm like, okay. The reason I think he likes it is because he really hated The Last Jedi. And this movie is 90% damage control over all the decisions they made over The Last Jedi. And I think that's why some people really love this movie, is because they just hate The Last Jedi so much, they consider this like a slap in the face. But when it comes to story and pacing and character and, character development and all that stuff, just as a movie, I feel like this movie is very messy. But they don't pay attention to that. They just pay attention to the big decisions that the story makes, which they really like. But I just don't think it was fleshed out enough for me to really give it a pass.
Did you see this movie twice?
No, I saw it once.
I've seen this movie twice.
Yeah. I'm feeling like there was so much that happened. Maybe I could have benefited from a second.
I watched it twice, and I did like it more the second time. Like,
That's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been hearing.
But I think it's just because you have like you can process everything because it's not all like brand fresh.
Yeah, it's just like so much.
It's like overwhelming the first time you watch it. Like, the first time we watched it, we saw it like accidentally
with
in 3D.
13 fucking people.
With like a lot of people. Like our
only one of them liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mark, who's been on the show before. Hi, Mark, if you're listening. Bought tickets for all of us, and we went and saw it. And we sat like kind of like close to the screen. I sat closer to the screen the first time than I did the second time, and it was in 3D. And like I'm like sensory overloaded, can't contain it all. The second time I watched it, I was not nearly as mad as the first time. But there are like I was not same thing. I wasn't like excited by much. Mm-hmm. Like I think a lot of people really like the lightsaber fight on Endor. With the Death Star.
That was cool.
It's fine. I don't know. I think it's actually probably the worst lightsaber fight out of the three. In the three movies.
I feel like this movie has the least amount of lightsaber fights just in general, but
it might be Last Jedi actually.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But like the one in Last Jedi is like god tier.
Matters.
Yeah, it's my favorite in the whole
series.
The whole series.
You mean when they're fighting the Red Guards?
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know a lot of people hate that scene because it's like there's so many little technicalities between the the stunt doubles and stuff, how they're just waiting around. But I'm like, if you look at some of the best action scenes ever, there are stunt doubles just waiting around. Like, look at Old Boy. Like, if it was real life, everyone would just pile on him and the fight would be over.
I don't know if that movie counts though, because that's the point. They're afraid of him. Like it's out of fear.
Yeah, you also got a lightsaber. Like a lightsaber will fuck you up.
That's like the most realistic fight, like in a movie.
Well, I'm just saying, like in any movie, because there's always like the people who are waiting around. When in reality, you're like. In reality, like, if there's 100 goons, they could easily just pile on this guy and then immobilize him like that, like, immediately. Like, they just need a dog pile on him, like a football game. And, like, he would just be over. It would just be over. But, those are just technical things about movies that I don't really care about. So I do like The Last Jedi lightsaber battle. But, I don't think Star Wars is necessarily about lightsaber battles. I mean, I actually enjoy Rogue One, and that doesn't really have any lightsaber battles except for that one scene at the very, very end. I'm not a guy who's like, I need lightsabers in my Star Wars, but whatever. I
don't need them.
Yeah.
Like the ones that show up are fine. Like the one where Kylo like shits on all the Knights of Ren was cool. I think it was more cool just because of the Force Bond stuff.
That was one thing that carried over with the Last Jedi that I really enjoyed. The whole thing of like. I actually really like that aspect of the movie. The whole, like, they can transfer things through the Force, and how he finds her by, like, tearing off her necklace at the festival, and it's like, they track it. That's cool. And it's like, I love the fight, I love how they fight between the Force and stuff, and they're, like, taking items back and forth. I do like that.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Rey and Kylo's relationship is still the best part of these three movies. Mm-hmm. I think it's always been the best part.
Yeah.
They do a good job with that. Like I said, there's lots of things to like. It's just there's so much stuff that makes me like frustrated. We haven't even talked about like beginning of the movie. Palpatine's back.
Yeah.
We talked about how I don't like that. I think that's real lazy and boring. But like also, he just has 10,000 Star Destroyers. That each one of them has just a Death Star laser on it.
Is my least favorite plot point in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like,
no
what
schematics,
the
no
hell?
foreshadowing.
How do you have all these people? Where did all these people come from?
Right.
You gotta have people piloting these things, presumably.
Again, it comes from the fact that they didn't have a roadmap going to the end, and they didn't know what to do, so they just pulled out the Emperor out of nowhere. And again, there's absolutely no foreshadowing in the previous two films that he's the big bad of the series, and to just throw him in at the end to be the big bad is so strange. And him being Rey's, grandfather is also a little strange. I feel like if they fleshed it out more, it could have worked. Like that, like I said, this movie should have been two movies, but it wasn't.
I've seen like fan theories that go all the way back to Force Awakens that like she was like a clone of like Palpatine or like Palpatine made another like Anakin Skywalker basically because Anakin doesn't have a dad. So those have been floating around forever, but like the specific point of her being blood related, like a granddaughter. You're right. It's totally like they just were like, we need something.
Yeah, it's like
we need it.
Yeah, who's she gonna be related to?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
We've made a big deal of it in Episode 7. Episode 8 said it didn't matter, but like it has to matter. Like, if it doesn't matter, like why is Rey so powerful?
Why can't Rey just be a Jedi? Like, she can't just be someone new. Like, that's impossible. You know what it reminds me of? I know this is crazy, but you guys watch Legend of Korra by any chance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the first season with Amon?
Yes.
He had like a mask and everything.
Yes.
Like, I remember when watching that show back in like 2012. Like, me and my friend group loved that show, and we were talking about like, oh, who is Amon? Who's Amon? Like, is he Aang? Is he Sokka? Is he maybe he's Aang's like son, like other son, like disgraced son? Like, who is he? Who is he? And I'm just like, why can't he just be a new character? Why can't he just be someone new that they introduced with a cool backstory? And then they did that, and I was like, yes, that's the way it should be.
Dude, it's funny that you bring this up because I'm actually I have 2 episodes left of Avatar.
Really?
I'm watching it. Yeah.
Such a good show.
Yeah.
Such a good show.
I think there's always like a pressure to like keep like if you're making a sequel to like reintroduce things from the past, especially if there's like a big time gap or like nostalgia attached to it. So like in Star Wars, like there you have 40 years of history to like go back on. Yeah. It's like really tempting to go back and like either revise things or pull things back up for like nostalgia factor. Like I said, the things I like most about this movie are usually nostalgia bait.
But I feel like they should have kept it.
Yeah, but like at the same time, when you do that like nonstop, it's just also really boring and lazy and predictable.
Yeah.
Except in this case, it's not predictable because no one could have reasonably predicted. You could have just like thrown a dart in the darkness and like hit a bullseye by accident. But like
no, that's what they did. They probably put like Obi-Wan, Anakin, like Palpatine and all that on a dartboard, and they're like, all right, who's Rey related to?
In a world where Rey is related to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you have a Kenobi miniseries coming, you could set that up in. You could have set that up in like the Kenobi. Like TV series.
Yeah. I'm like if they just connect it to TV shows, why can't...
Yeah, like you could totally have had like Rey related to Obi-Wan, which would have been weird in its own way, because like he doesn't reference her at all in Episode 4 and all that junk like that. But, I mean, honestly, like, he doesn't even... Like, in Episode 5, I think, like, Obi-Wan's a Force ghost on Dagobah, and like, Yoda's like, remember Obi-Wan, there is a second child. And Obi-Wan's like, oh yeah! Even though in like Episode 3, he's like right there literally delivering these babies.
True.
So there's a bunch of stuff like retcon stuff like that in the series.
This movie to me is just it's very messy, and it shows that they should have had a plan and that they didn't do it. And they should have had one director take the reins on all of it.
I don't know if you need one director. It would be nice. I would have preferred. I think if you had Rian Johnson or JJ do all 3 movies, they would have been better for it.
Yeah, but they should at least have an idea of like...
Yeah, I think as long as you have the core idea and like a writer doing it. If you have like a Kevin Feige in the background like, puppeteering everything, it works. But like there'll be people that like... And I've seen this already online. There's like people that really like Rise of Skywalker or at least willing to defend this aspect of it. Where like, look, like the original trilogy wasn't planned out either. There's like scenes where like Luke Skywalker's like making out with his sister who's like not his sister then but is his sister a movie later. And that's fair. But like they were never planned out. I think as like New Hope was never a trilogy at the get go. I think George Lucas always had aspirations for that, but he never it wasn't called Episode 4 at the gate. It was just called Star Wars.
Yes.
And he didn't even know if it was going to make money. Nobody thought it was going to make money. So he's like, here's my one shot, and if that's all I get it. So then after that, you get Episode 5 and 6, which fit the whole trilogy together. And not everything about it is planned out, obviously.
Not everything.
But you don't
about
need
it.
everything.
Yeah,
You just need at least
exactly.
a goal. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure the back of George Lucas's head the entire time. Like, if he got to episode 6, like,
He knew how it was going to
Palpatine
end.
was the bad guy, and Luke Skywalker was going to turn his father to the light side.
Yeah.
Like, that was probably always the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they didn't even have that for this. They were like, we bought
No.
the license to Star Wars. Let's just start making movies ASAP. Like, when they buy it, 2012?
Something like that,
2013?
yeah. Yeah, something like
And
that.
then they bought it, and like 2-3 years later, you have Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And then every year after that, you got a movie.
And that's the thing, too, is that Disney had this mandate to do at one Star Wars film a year. And they finally realized that was such a bad idea, because if they do that, then you're just making Star Wars films without a story. You're just making them because you have to at that point.
Well, they're also like losing. Like, I'm pretty sure each Star Wars film has made less money than the last.
It has. This is the worst performing one
Of
yet.
the trilogy. And then Solo made way less money than Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogue One made less money than Force Awakens.
Which I'm glad they're realizing now, because they're taking like I think a 2 or 3 year break from Star Wars movies apparently. Like, I think they should just take this time to figure out what they're gonna do. Me and T-Kettle have talked about this. We want to see something set in the universe, completely separate from everything. Like, I think that would be sick. I want to see like a Knights of the Old Republic film, or like show a film about Darth Revan. I think that would be sick. You know,
That would be sick.
You know, Darth Revan is awesome. Let's have Darth Revan.
Give me Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan, and I'll bend the knee. I'll forsake all bad things I said about Star Wars.
And you know, they're bringing Kevin Feige in too into
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, thank you, God.
Mm-hmm,
There is a progenitor God. We're saved. Oh. Yeah, they just need somebody. And it's like, Kevin Feige's a miracle worker, but like, it doesn't even need to be him. Though they had somebody kind of in that role.
Kathleen Kennedy. She's kind of like
she's
that,
like
but
in charge of the Star Wars story team or some shit. But for my money, she's already failed. Like,
yeah, she doesn't. No, she's not. She doesn't do the same thing. She's not as involved, because it's interesting. Because
she's left the Force in darkness.
in a way, I always have a problem with people kind of blaming one entity for like the reason a movie or a movie series is bad. Because you get these people who are like, "Oh, Rian Johnson ruined it. J.J. Abrams ruined it. Kathleen Kennedy's fault. It's Disney's fault." I think movies are a collaborative effort between hundreds of people. I don't necessarily think that it's right to point the finger at a sole person and blame them for something like that, because I think it's fucking ridiculous, honestly. But the movie, it just didn't do well, and it's like, you know, that's just the way it is, unfortunately. You know, it happens. But I don't think we should just point the finger at anyone and crucify them for it.
No, I don't think you. Like, I think you could levy blame on a lot of actors, like not literally actors, but like a lot of actors in this whole, you know, melting pot of Star Wars in the Disney era. Like, I think you could probably levy a lot of blame at Rian Johnson. I think Rian Johnson's movie's my favorite of the three for sure. I think it's the most interesting of the three. But he definitely was just like, fuck it, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's
And,
another thing, too, is it's funny how people always say, like, corporations like Disney should give the directors more creative freedom. And then they did that with Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, to, like, do whatever you want. But then once that happened, fans were like, oh, no, we can't have that. Like, don't do that. You know? It's like, what the hell do you want then? It's like, do you want creative freedom for a director to do what they want? Or do you want Disney to oversee everything and kind of be like, oh, no, there's this mandate here, this corporate thing, you know? So, in reality, fans just don't know what they want for the most part, in my opinion.
Fans definitely do not know what they want. Like, I don't know what I want, honestly. Like, I'm critical of like Force Awakens, because I think Force Awakens is too safe. But then they kind of deviate from that, and I think most of Last Jedi is bad. But the parts that are really good, I really like, even though those are probably the most like separate from Star Wars. And then you get Force Awakens, and then you get Rise of Skywalker, and it's like, oh, we're gotta fix it all, and I'm like, I definitely don't like this. It's tough. But then you also got stuff like Mandalorian on the side. And I love that show. I think there's only like one bad episode out of that 8.
Yeah.
The rest of it, I think, are like good to great.
Yeah, me too.
The newest episode was like the best.
Amazing.
It's an amazing episode. So I don't know. I don't know what I want. I would love if they just never touched anything related to the Skywalker family ever again.
Yeah, same. It's done. It's
Or
over.
like, at the very least, like if I'm like a 70-year-old man, maybe bring it back. But
Yeah, right.
like, stay away from it.
Yeah. It sucks that they didn't stick the landing as well as something like Endgame or Marvel. I don't mean to keep comparing Star Wars to Marvel, but it's kind of hard because...
They're owned by the same company.
Yes, and there was a critic, too, who said this. I think he was Double Toasted. Corey from Double Toasted. He said it best. He's like, the original trilogy was lightning in a bottle. And ever since that trilogy, people have been trying to reclaim that same sense of magic. They couldn't do it with the prequels, and they couldn't do it with this, because you can't plan for that type of magic to happen again with a new trilogy. And then he's like, Marvel's the new Star Wars. He's like, Marvel was the happy accident that Star Wars was in the 70s, except that it happened in modern time. Marvel happened, it was an accident. They just made Iron Man. They didn't know what it was going to turn into, and then it turned into this amazing thing that now generations after will love the same way generations after Star Wars still love it. You know what I'm saying? And I completely agree with him, because Marvel's the best. They're doing it the best out of any big budget franchise right now. And I totally agree. And I don't know what they're going to do with Star Wars going to the future, but I think the Skywalker saga, it sucks that they didn't stick the landing, but in all honesty, who knows? You know, maybe the kids who grew up, like little kids now who saw this movie in theaters, in like 20 years, they'll like love it probably. Like maybe they'll love the new trilogy, because kids who grew up with the prequels, a lot of them, not us, but a lot of them, they really love the prequels for some reason.
We're just gonna be grown up like 40, 50-year-olds. We'll be like the new age boomers.
Yeah.
Like in our Star Wars movies, all the young kids will be playing with Iron Mans. And we'll be like, oh, back in my day, I really liked Star Wars. It was great.
Only the original trilogy.
They'll be like,
There's things to like we were talking earlier. You mentioned like there's a whole bunch of revisionist history now involving the prequel movies.
Yes.
And I can kind of see it. I think I mentioned earlier the big, like they're like both the prequel trilogy and this new trilogy are terrible, but for completely opposite reasons. Like you have the prequel trilogy, which is like pretty well plotted out. Like George Lucas knew where he was going. From beginning to end, but the execution's miserably bad.
The acting is bad. The dialogue is horrendous.
Horrendously
Yeah,
bad.
the
So
dialogue is terrible, and yeah, the acting isn't great for almost every single part. I'm pretty sure that Hayden Christensen in Attack of the Clones might be the most painful performance ever put to like pop fiction film. It's awful. Like he's just a creeper the entire time. It's painful to watch. I wanted to die watching it. So those are that problems. But the problems with the prequels are never like the plotting is terrible. Like the if you take the base like narrative of where that's going, like the slow death of democracy by applause, the turmoil between like the dark side of the Force like flipping it on its head, like the chosen one becoming the thing that like brings everyone to the brink of darkness. All those things are cool. It's just so badly executed on, it's not worth watching.
Yeah.
But then you have the prequels movie, like the sequel movies, which are executed okay. Like for the most part, like we all like Adam Driver a lot. We all like for the most part like the main cast of like Rey, Poe, and Finn. Like I like them despite them like being completely half baked in this new movie. I don't hate any of them. Though I kind of hate them in Last Jedi, like Poe and Finn, because their characters are thrown away, but you get what I'm saying.
They were set up really well.
They were set up good, and like they were fine. The acting's not bad though. Like all of them, I think
a lot of
a good job acting.
Like I mean, even the pace, like the special effects, the way the movies are made, just on a technical level, are the best in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. Like they sound great, they look great. The prequels sound okay. There's some good songs in there, but I think that's actually probably some of Williams' worst Star Wars material.
Yeah.
But they look terrible.
Oh god, dude, they're so bad.
They look the Gungan like droid like separatist army in episode 1.
It's like a video game.
It's so bad looking. Yeah, I'd much rather like play Battlefront 2 on my PlayStation 2 than watch that.
Yeah.
Or just watch a cutscene in there. It looks terrible. So I feel like they like they're both bad, but they for completely opposite reasons almost. And then you have this like little nugget of gold back in 1977 that started it all.
And you can't.
That's like, that's good. Like we ranked all the movies.
Yeah.
Like we did like a tier list the other day.
I did it too. I
Yeah.
participated. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you look at it and you're like, really? There's only like 4 good movies.
That's what we were talking about. That's what
Like
the
4
whole
good
last.
movies.
That's what the whole last podcast was about. Like, is Star Wars good from an objective point of view?
No.
Because like, if you go by majority, just majority, like take our opinions out of it and say the majority opinion is people hate the prequels. Majority. People really don't like Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker.
It's like a split between both, yeah.
It's like a split, but mostly people are like, and then people don't really like Rogue One or Solo. So it's like that leaves you with what like, and then people do like Force Awakens and the original trilogy. I think that's pretty decent. So that's a 4 out of 11 batting average. That's bad.
It's rough.
That's rough. That's real bad. I personally do like Rogue One, and I
like Rogue One,
and I think Solo is decent for what it is, and and I do like The Last Jedi. So if we're going by my standard, it's different. But majority objective standard, yeah, I mean, there's only 4 really good movies that are universally praised. So, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Oh, yeah?
That's a lie.
But why? Because Mandalorian?
Mandalorian's really good. And then there's
Mandalorian's
also,
amazing.
weirdly enough, outside of, the new trilogy, there's been some stuff that's popped in that's been pretty good.
Yeah.
I hear really good things about Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes, me too. I heard really good things.
The Respawn video game. I've been meaning to play. I just haven't spent the money to get it yet. Mandalorian, very good.
So good.
Apparently, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is good again.
That's what I heard.
It finally got good.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I would never play that game now, but that game's good. So I feel like there's there's a weird diaspora around the movies that contribute to some of the positivity in the fandom. Once again, you mentioned at the very beginning, if you grew up around the times of the prequels coming out, there was all these really good video games and TV shows, the Clone Wars, the original Clone Wars TV show is really good. And even the newer CG one has good episodes in it.
Rebels, you mean?
Well, no, there's the 2D cell animated Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And then there's the 3D remake. Yeah. That's an actual 24 episode minute episode movie episodes. That has good episodes in it, but there's you have to look at it like a watch guide to get through that without wanting to pull your brains out. And then Rebels, the same thing. There's really good elements of it, but most of it's for kids, for kids. Jar Jar Binks tier.
Oh wow.
But there are good moments in it. If you want to watch the epic conclusion of Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, that's the only way to get it canonically now. But when I was growing up, the original Battlefront games were awesome. The N64 Pod Racer game was awesome. It was awesome. I love that game. But the two big ones were the Knights of the Republic games. Yeah. 1 and 2. I still think Knights of the Republic 2 is the best thing Star Wars has ever made.
Yeah, but they don't have too much to do with the movies.
They have nothing to do with the movies. Those ones in particular. They take place 4,000 years before. Though. Yeah, but it's got Star Wars lore, it's got droids, it's got blasters, it's got lightsabers, Jedi, all that stuff. And they take big influence from the prequels specifically. You got big Jedi Order and those are really the only mediums that have more than a Jedi running on at a time.
That's why I think little kids now are going to play Jedi Fallen Order. They're going to watch The Mandalorian. They're going to do all this stuff. They're going to buy the toys and all that, and they're going to grow up really loving this new trilogy. I feel like the opinion about Star Wars really changes over time, and who knows? And maybe we'll be the old shitheads, and oh, but the sequel trilogy is bad if you think about it, and the kids are going to be okay, boomer, shut up. Who knows? I think Disney Plus is where Star Wars needs to stay for a while. I think Disney Plus shows really great promise for Star Wars. The Mandalorian, to me, is fantastic. It's so good. And for a while there, after Rise of Skywalker, like I said, I didn't hate the movie. I think it's better than all the prequels. But just barely. I think it's just barely above Episode 3. I was like, man, I don't even know about Star Wars anymore. It's who cares? But then I saw The Mandalorian, and I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, this is why I like Star Wars. I was like, okay.
Trust your feelings, T-Kettle.
I was like, this is why I like Star Wars, because like you said, last week, not on the podcast, but we talked to you after. You were like, when Star Wars is good, it's such a good feeling. When they actually hit the mark.
I love when Star Wars is good.
Yeah, it's such a good feeling when it's good, but when it's bad, it's it misses the mark so much.
Yeah, and there's tons of shared history with Star Wars. Everyone knows a stormtrooper sucks ass at shooting things, and in that newest episode of Mandalorian, the first 5 minutes is just stormtroopers bullshitting with each other and trying to shoot a tin can on the floor and can't hit it, and it's hilarious.
That was a Taika Waititi thing.
Yeah, and you can't do if Marvel did something like that, it'd be funny, but it wouldn't have the shared context of aha, everyone knows that stormtroopers suck ass at shooting things.
Right. That was a total Taika Waititi touch.
Yeah, bless his soul.
Yeah, that was so good.
He touches everything and it turns into sparkling gold.
It was so good. I was actually nervous because I'm like, I don't know if he could handle the drama of the last episode, but he actually did. He actually handled it really well.
Oh, it's so good.
It is so good. And one of those scout troopers was Jason Sudeikis. So, yeah.
Baby Yoda will save the franchise.
I hope so.
He's the best thing that's ever happened in the last 35 years of Star Wars. I'm convinced. Legitimately probably the best new thing to happen.
Thank you, Werner Herzog.
Thank you, Werner Herzog, for calling out the production team. They were being cowards. They were going to CG Baby Yoda, and he was like, "No, you cannot CG a Baby Yoda. You must not be cowards."
That was good.
Dude, he does it all the time.
Dude, I think the people I have to be thankful for in the Star Wars world is Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, freaking Deborah Chow, who did the best episodes. I think
She did the best episodes.
She did the best episodes of Mandalorian. I think, and she's heading up Kenobi, the Kenobi show.
Thank you.
I'm very excited for all the things that they have planned, and I think this is the trajectory of Star Wars that I'm most excited for. It sucks that the movie didn't stick the landing, but like I said, I don't hate the movie as much as you guys. You know,
enjoying Star Wars movies is a complicated profession.
Thank you.
Werner Herzog, that dude is weird.
He is a weird guy. He's like never watched Star Wars either. He just was like showed up and was like, "I like this little puppet."
Jon Favreau's doing that on purpose though. Like he casted Bill Burr intentionally because Bill.
Yeah,
Burr,
like that was so weird.
like
Is that Bill
Star Wars.
Burr's like in an episode and he's like,
he doesn't like Star Wars, and then he
doesn't like Star Wars?
Oh no, Bill Burr is not a fan of Star Wars.
I didn't know that.
And then they did a thing for the Chef show together.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about it, and then he's like, you should be in Mandalorian. And he's like, John, I make fun of Star Wars all the time. I don't like Star Wars. And he's like, yeah, I know. That's what would make it funny. He's like, that's what would make it funny.
Yeah, Jon Favreau's great. I think I would love to see him do more stuff. I think the only like shitty thing he's done in the last like 10 years is like the Lion King remake.
Right, but Jungle Book was so good. Fucking love that movie.
It's a very good movie.
It is.
I like Jungle Book.
Johnny Fat Baby. Johnny Fat's great. And you know he writes all the episodes for.
Yeah, he's got writing credits on all of it. He does a good job.
Yeah, he's like the guy who's like overseeing all of it. Like it's.
Get him to make more stuff.
Yeah, and Kevin Feige coming too has given me hope, too. He said it won't be for a while, but he's coming to it, and I'm like, okay.
I would just love if there was just another like good batch of like Star Wars movies. Is Rian Johnson still making movies for Star Wars?
Star Wars?
Yeah, is he still doing it? Because he was doing a trilogy. He was set to do a trilogy, right?
He was, but I don't know if he's still doing it anymore. Honestly, if I was him, I mean, he's been. I feel so fucking bad for that guy because he's just a normal dude who just wants to make his fucking movies. And every time he goes on fucking Twitter, I guarantee you, it's just constant. You're the worst. I fucking hate you, Ruin Johnson. You're the worst. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Like, I feel so bad for him as a filmmaker myself. I'm like, I can't even imagine what that's like. A lot of filmmakers won't even take up Star Wars for that reason. You know?
Now he's trying to separate himself with some original content.
Yeah, which is good because that's where he excels. So. Rian Johnson's a great filmmaker, and it sucks now that most things people are going to know him for is, oh, he ruined Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, he makes really good films. I just watched Brick for the first time. I love that. That was great.
That was a good movie.
I thought that was really good. I haven't seen Brothers Bloom, but, Looper's
great.
Looper's really well done. And Knives Out I really enjoyed. So, there you go.
Yeah.
But, so overall, final opinions before I do have like a little game for us to play here.
Oh shit!
I do have a little game for us to play. But final opinions on first Rise of Skywalker and then the new trilogy as a whole. Go ahead. You can start with Jake.
Okay, go ahead.
The new movie sucks. I hate it. I was never a Star Wars fan. Star Wars is bad. I quit the thing. It's terrible. The Palpatine shoots the lightning and I don't like it. It wasn't very good. It was, I don't know. It's so frustrating to think about the new trilogy as a whole. I feel like it had a lot of potential going in, and it was kind of squandered by not a lot of smart decision making. And I really wish they'd do a better job next time. But can't really fix it now.
Yeah,
it's fine. 2 of the movies are pretty all right. This new one's, I think this is the worst one of the 3. For sure.
Mm-hmm, me too.
Please be better, Star Wars. You can be better.
I don't like this one. I'd give it a 2. I was stone cold the whole time, so I think that just goes to show that I don't have the feeling for it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple moments here and there that I enjoyed, but overall, wasn't a fan. Very messy movie. And wait, you want me to talk about my thoughts on the trilogy as a whole?
The whole new trilogy.
Yeah, it's not that good. It's not that good because, I don't know, it starts off pretty decent and then it just drifts off into its own direction and then here we are. I just think the damage control was pretty much like irreparable by the third one. So there you go.
For me, I definitely like the new one more than you guys. With that being said, I do think it's the worst out of the three. I think just ignoring The Last Jedi completely was a mistake, and I feel like there's a lot of moments of potential in the new one that they should have just elaborated on, and I feel like I'm much more disappointed than angry at this film. I feel like if they just fleshed out some things, maybe even broke this up into 2 movies, I feel like they could have really done something better. I feel like they really could have. There's a lot of potential in this movie that I saw that even me, Mitch, and David, when watching this, were like, if they just changed this little thing, this would have made the movie so much better. There was so much of that, and it sucks that they didn't pull through. Overall, the new trilogy, I think it's watchable. I really like Force Awakens, and I do like The Last Jedi for what it is. But I think this third one kind of really missed the mark for me. I'm not angry about the new trilogy. Again, as a Star Wars fan, I do like Star Wars, but I'm not necessarily... in the end, to me, this goes for any movie. It's just a movie. Even if Endgame sucked, I would have been like, okay, this sucks, but it's not going to ruin my life over it. I feel like people put Star Wars on such a pedestal where it's like, it's more than just a movie to them. It's like this experience. Like, it's like this religious thing. And I'm like, that's just, to me, that's weird to me.
I think it has to do with how many times people go to a movie a year. I mean, we go all the time. There's always going to be things for us to watch and cling to, but for them, maybe not. So. Well,
it's weird because they view it as like this cathartic, like religious, like transient experience, but it's like, I have a really emotional connection to the first Thor movie. It's something that me and my dad really loved to watch. He loved the first Thor movie, and he wasn't big into superhero films or films in general. So he really loved that film. So I have a big attachment to the first Thor movie. So when Taika Waititi came in and basically said, fuck those 2 movies, and he just completely axed off most of those characters that I truly loved unceremoniously, I was like, oh man, that sucks. Like, I kind of wish, whatever. I do like Ragnarok, but I don't like it as much as most people. I give it a 3 out of 5 because of that reason. But in the end, it's just a movie. It's not like it's going to be something that I, get like super angry about and all that. It's like, I feel like people sometimes just need to calm down a little bit when it comes to things that are like this, because in the end, it's just a movie.
No, I'm gonna get mad on Twitter. Don't stop me. I'm gonna yell at Ryan Johnson. I'm gonna yell at J.J. Abrams.
You're right.
I'm gonna at Star Wars and tell him it's poo-poo.
That's right. Ruin Johnson.
It's all doo-doo.
J.J. Jar Jar Abrams.
Holy shit!
All right, let's look at it. Now it's time for the real podcast. Episode 1.
No.
It's a good movie.
No.
It's a good movie.
No.
I love me some pod racing. Sebulba's my favorite new canon character. Where's my Sebulba in episode 7, 8, and 9? Why is Sebulba the savior?
Okay, just left field thing. Since you didn't finish that movie, do you know what the last shot of that movie is?
Isn't it? It's like okay. Here's the thing. I remember what it should have been because I remember I was watching it with a friend years ago in college, and when he's like, "The Sith are back. Order always 2 there are. Did we kill the master or the apprentice?" And then it like slowly pans up to Palpatine's face. That should have been the last shot.
Yes.
But then they go on to like this party.
Yep.
Or whatever. And I think, don't they hold up?
Yes.
He holds up like a...
It's like the leader of the Jar Jar.
The Gungans.
Yeah, the king of the Gungans.
Yeah, him.
The guy that goes a lot.
It's so bad.
What a dumb final shot.
So good.
Yeah, it should have been.
What?
It's so good.
No.
It's bad. It's bad, but it's like the best kind of bad.
All right, so I have a game for us to play here, but it's kind of weird because it's going to be hard with 3 people because this was meant to be just me and him, for me and him, but maybe you can... Okay, how about this? So I have a bunch of big budget blockbuster film franchises listed here.
Okay.
And we're going to go Star Wars versus them.
Okay.
Which one is better? But we don't say what we think is better. We say what we think the other person thinks is better. So, like the first one, for example.
So it's a newlywed game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, shit.
So I'll have you... Well, okay, so yeah, I'll have you. You can have Jake. Jake will have me, or whatever order you want to do. And then afterwards, we'll be like, oh my god, you're so wrong. I love Star Wars much more than whatever. Okay. You know what I mean? So, are we all...
Yeah.
Do we all know the rules? Okay,
Yeah.
Are you guys ready? Okay, so I got you. So I'm going to say what I think you think is better.
Okay.
Star Wars versus Harry Potter. You love Harry Potter. There's no way.
Yeah, Harry Potter's better.
Harry Potter's better? What do you think he likes better? Or wait, I like better, my bad.
I think you're a Star Wars guy because you got a Star Wars hoodie and a Star Wars t-shirt on.
Yeah. And then you got Jake.
Star Wars.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm actually Harry Potter. I like Harry Potter more than Star Wars.
Yeah, I think Harry Potter's better than Star Wars.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna like one surefire way to like gauge my interest in a thing is like, would I run like a tabletop like D&D like game in that universe? And with Star Wars, hell yeah. And Harry Potter, like I don't give a fuck about Harry Potter. It's whatever.
But the movies are so.
Movies are way better.
I feel like the movies are better.
Consistently better.
Yeah.
And I read all the books when I was growing up.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right, Star Wars versus Fast and the Furious. Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't finished them.
Well, you gotta say what you think he thinks.
Star Wars, naturally.
Yeah. But Fast and the Furious is fucking hilarious.
It is.
You're a... I'm gonna go with Fast and the Furious. I think you really like Fast and the Furious. That's why it's on this list.
I do like Fast and Furious, but I like Star Wars more.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. Star Wars versus James Bond. This was one that I thought was real tough for you.
James Bond.
I'm supposed to
I'm
guess
sorry,
it.
I'm
I'm supposed to guess it.
I'm so sorry.
I feel like you're not understanding
Dude,
the concept of this game.
You know why?
Why?
It's because I'm fucking dead right now.
Yeah.
So which era of James Bond movies is the best era? Do you like the newest stuff better? The best?
I do love the newest stuff.
Probably Sean Connery.
That one's good. We talked about like how the new, if they're gonna reboot it after No Time to Die or whatever, and I feel like they're gonna go cartoony again, like Roger Moore-esque, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't think that much can beat Star Wars for you. So I'm gonna go Star Wars.
Yeah, I like Star Wars. Well. I'm gonna go with Star Wars for Nico as well.
Yeah, Star Wars for me as well.
But
I do love James Bond.
movies are really good.
I'm sorry to take that away from you. I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut until when asked to spoken to.
That's right. All right, here's one. Star Wars versus Lord of the Rings. I think you like Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Yes! Yeah, if I had to pick... Dude, why did I gotta pick? Fuck! Yeah, I like Lord of the Rings better.
Yeah, you do.
Dang. All right, what about me?
Lord of the Rings.
I'm actually Star Wars.
Fuck!
I like Star Wars.
But that's cheating, though. Like, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is my favorite... They're my favorite movies.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes close is, like, something stupid like Starship Troopers.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
knew that.
Yeah.
Star Wars versus Indiana Jones. I think you like Indiana Jones more.
Star Wars.
Yeah. I do like Indiana Jones a lot, though. Those very good 3 movies.
I feel like this is unfair because I know Jake too well.
So wait, you said you like Star Wars more?
Yeah, but
Okay.
the Indiana Jones trilogy, excellent trilogy.
Excellent.
Some of the best 3 movies you could ever hope to watch. The 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Yes, the 3.
Yeah, the 3.
Yeah.
I think Nico. Look, if he likes Star Wars over Lord of the Rings, I'm just gonna say he likes Star Wars over Indiana Jones.
Yeah, you're right. I do like Star Wars over Indiana Jones, but I really love Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I really like Indiana Jones.
All right, now this one is easy when you go through the whole. This includes the whole franchise. Remember, so Star Wars versus the Jurassic Park franchise. You definitely like Star Wars more.
Star Wars.
Yeah. For the whole franchise?
Whole franchise.
Yeah, you're gonna pick Star Wars. But I bet if it was just the first movie, I bet you'd be swayed, possibly.
Possibly. But oh yeah, sorry, you didn't guess.
I think you're a Star Wars guy.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
Jurassic World, those movies are bad.
Those are bad, but I think Lost World's not that bad.
I like Lost World too.
Lost World
but Jurassic World 3 was pretty good.
Jurassic Park 3 is
3.
pretty bad. Mm-hmm. William H. Macy's funny as fuck in that movie, though. He's a complete waste of space.
I remember that, yeah.
Oh, this one's going to be the hardest one. Star Wars versus the DC Expanded Universe.
They both have the exact same problems.
I'm going to say you like Star Wars more.
Star Wars, obviously. This isn't even a game for me. It's just like literally for me. It's just like Star Wars.
Would I be harder for you?
Then we can flip the wheel.
We can flip it. Let's flip the wheel.
I think Nico. You go ahead and pick Nico. You go and pick Nico.
Yeah. Do I like
Star Wars?
Yeah. Very true.
Now,
right.
if the DC universe was good, would it be different? Like if we had good expanded
it
universe
would be
stuff?
different if DC Universe was good. We're starting to get back on track now.
It's a weird question. Would it be different if it was good? Yeah.
Well,
no, like-
that would work for like almost anything. I feel like.
No, but like I'm talking about like because you could if like Justice League was like the best movie ever made, I'd still like Star Wars more than that probably.
Yeah, see, if Justice League was like amazing, I probably would be swayed, but it wasn't.
That would be a miracle if you had all these movies leading up to it, pretty shitty,
Right.
and then you made a fantastic movie.
Right. All right. So let's flip the wheel a little bit. So how about I'll do Jake because I don't know Jake as well, so I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then Jake, you want to do T-Kettle?
Yeah.
And then T-Kettle will do me.
Yeah.
All right. Here we
This
go.
is more of a game.
Yes, exactly. Star Wars versus Pirates of the Caribbean. I think you're Star Wars.
Yes, but that I do like a lot of those movies. T-Kettle.
This one I actually don't know for T-Kettle. Like this one actually is pretty difficult.
I'm gonna go with Star Wars, but he probably likes Pirates 1 more than any Star Wars movie that's come out in the last 30 years. That's my bet. I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Dang. All
I
right.
think so.
Love
I think so. The music in that movie is better than
Oh, it's so
movie
good.
itself. Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars for sure. I really love the first Pirates movie.
First
But
Pirates
I
movie in
feel
particular
like
is very good.
I feel like after that they kind of
It's
went
so good.
downhill, especially that last one. I was like, oh.
I didn't even watch that newest one.
Oh, this one's really easy. Star Wars versus Transformers.
Duh.
Star Wars.
Yep.
Star Wars.
Kind of like Star Wars more.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy. Okay, how about this? Star Wars versus Mission Impossible.
T-Kettle likes Mission Impossible more. Those movies got good.
I'm gonna give you Mission Impossible too.
Nope.
Really?
I like Star Wars
Okay.
better.
See, as I told you, it's an easy game for him.
But those last three
This
Mission
one's
Impossible
hard.
movies are so
This one's
good.
hard.
And then Kettle's a Mission Impossible guy.
I feel like you're a Star Wars guy.
No, Mission Impossible.
What?
Yeah, I like Mission Impossible more.
Oh, yes.
What about you, T-Cat? Mission Impossible?
Yeah,
Star
no
Wars.
shit. Oh, yeah. No shit.
Simon Pegg is real good.
That's right.
Tom Cruise is
The
legit.
whole crew is so
the whole
good,
the whole
dude.
crew is legit.
So good. Tom Cruise.
When, okay, so like that, the first one was pretty
Tom
good
Cruise, baby.
for Mission Impossible.
Second one was a little bit.
Second
of a
one is
misstep.
like bleh, pretty bland, and then all of a sudden they got good
They did.
and like keep getting better.
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. Yeah, he
The
started
third
that.
one.
Is he? Did he do the third one?
He did.
The third one.
Mhm.
No, I don't even know.
All right, Star Wars versus Die Hard.
That's a lot of bad Die Hard movies.
There is.
It's like Star Wars in a way. You have a
Yeah,
couple
exactly,
good, you have
right?
a couple good ones and
That's
then a
what I'm
lot of bad
saying.
ones.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's a good matchup.
I think T-Kettle's a Die Hard guy. Him and his mom watch those Die Hard movies. on
I don't
Christmas.
have him, but I think he would choose Die Hard as
Yeah,
well.
I think Kettle's a Die Hard.
I
kind
think
of
you're a
guy.
Star Wars guy, though.
I am.
Out of those
Oh,
two.
man.
I've only watched like 2 of the Die Hard
The only
movies.
thing is, I honestly only like the first 3. I keep forgetting there's 2 other ones after that.
Isn't there more? Isn't there like modern day Die Hard movies?
Well, there's Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard, and then A Good Day to Die Hard.
Didn't they just have a
Those
Die
are
Hard movie
so
like 2 or 3 years
bad.
ago?
Yeah, A Good Day to Die Hard.
Yeah,
The
that
fifth
was
Good Day to Die
like
Hard?
5 years ago. I fell asleep at the movies during that.
Dang.
Thank you, Paul Lance.
Star Wars.
Yep, I'm Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Maybe. Yeah, I'd probably say Die Hard.
Star Wars versus... And this is kind of the same because Star Wars kind of petered out as well as this franchise. Star Wars versus Alien.
I think Kettle likes Star Wars more.
You're wrong. Fuck. Alien.
I'm gonna give you... I'm gonna give you Star Wars again.
Yep.
Okay.
Star Wars.
Yes.
There's some bad Alien movies.
They are.
There are some bad ones. If it kept the trajectory of the first
But
two...
you like Prometheus a lot though.
I do like Prometheus a lot.
I couldn't get through... I mean, I got through it, but I'm just like... I was bored by Prometheus, personally.
Did you like Covenant?
No.
No. Yeah, you didn't like Covenant.
It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but I did.
It's not Aliens 3 or 4.
No.
Alright, so... Star Wars versus Terminator.
T-Kettle's a Terminator kind of guy.
I'm gonna give you Terminator too, actually. Oh dang, really? Star Wars?
No, it's rough. It's a bad game to play with me because it's gonna be Star Wars like 90% of the time.
Alright.
Terminator.
You serious? No, dude, Star Wars. For sure.
Okay.
Kettle, do you like
I
Terminator?
love-
No, I should have known because all the shit that this needs to die.
Yeah. I love the first two,
I-
but it needs to die.
Honestly, I don't know. I fucking don't know. Probably Star Wars, honestly.
Really? Okay.
I'm proud of you.
I only like the first 2 Terminator.
This one
movies.
was the hardest for me, personally. I think. You might be like, psh, but for me. Star Wars versus the Rocky franchise, and that includes Creed.
Okay.
Kettle likes Rocky movies more than Star Wars. If you including Creed.
I think you like... God. I don't know. I'm going to say Star Wars for this.
You're right. I've watched almost none of the Rocky movies.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, that's a safe bet. It's Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, what'd you pick for me?
I think you picked... if you're including Creed, I think you like the Rocky stuff more than Star Wars.
No, probably Star Wars. I've only seen one in Creed.
Really?
I thought you'd seen more.
No.
I was convinced you had seen more.
Rocky.
Wow. Yeah, definitely Rocky. I think there's only two real, like, kind of bad Rocky movies, which is 4 and 5. But Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 6, and Creed 1 and 2, I think are really good.
I still haven't seen 2.
Rocky
Creed
2?
2, Creed
Oh,
2.
Creed 2? Yeah, it's really good. All right, Star Wars versus Mad Max. I think this is the one for you to finally break your Star Wars streak. I think I'm going to go Mad Max.
Have you?
I really like Fury
Have you
Road.
even watched the first 3 movies?
I watched the first 2.
Okay.
I think I'm going to still go with Star Wars, but if it was just Fury Road, I like Fury Road better than any Star Wars movie.
Well, Fury Road's part of the franchise.
Yeah, it is.
So if you like it more than any Star Wars film, that sounds like you like Mad Max more.
I think I want to like Star Wars more. Dude, Fury Road's so good.
It is.
I'm going to go with Kettle like Star Wars more than Mad Max.
Fuck you, dude. It's Mad Max, dude. It's fucking Mad Max. I'm gonna go with you, Mad Max, too.
That is tough, but yeah, I'd probably Mad Max.
Fury Road's so sick.
I love that trilogy. I don't love the third one. It's
one's
solid
tough
enough.
So yeah, I don't think I finished watching the second one. Like I watched the first one like a long time ago.
So good.
Well, I don't
I
know.
was watching it with my dad, and I think I fell asleep in the couch.
Maybe I'll change to Star Wars because I am in that universe more. That one's real tough for me.
I just watched the trilogy pretty recently too.
You know, I'm gonna change it to Star Wars. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine.
All right, Star Wars versus the MCU.
Whoa.
Now this one.
MCU easy mode.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Easy
think
mode.
Kettle also likes the MCU more than Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I think gosh, this one's tough. You've been Star Wars like through all of this. I'm gonna stay Star Wars.
You're right.
Dang, you like Star Wars with the MCU?
I don't get me wrong. There's a lot of MCU stuff I like. I just don't connect with it as much. There's a meme in our friend group that, especially coming from Mark, that I don't like comic book movies because they're like, hey Jacob, you want to go see this comic book movie? Like on a Thursday when I'm like usually busy on Thursdays, I'll be like, nah, I'll pass. And they're like, wow, Jacob doesn't like comic book movies. But there's a bunch of them I like, especially like Infinity War and Endgame. I think are both like A+ movies.
Yeah, those are great. Those are great.
But I'd rather have a lightsaber than like Thor's hammer. Just saying. No, Thor's hammer is way stronger than a lightsaber.
Yeah.
True.
Especially if Captain America has it. Oh, that shit's so good. Maybe I'll do like the MCU more. No, I'm sticking with Star Wars.
Sticking with it? All right. Now this one is the last one, and I had to save this for last. Come on, you know what it is. Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Oh, no!
Oh shit.
And that includes the new ones by...
Star Wars.
Yeah, probably. But I do love the new Star Trek movies. I really do love them. The J.J. Abrams one and the Justin Long one, really good.
Kettle, what do you think? Kettle, because you know me pretty well, but
Star Trek.
you think I like Star Trek more?
Yeah. Started to take.
Really? Dang, I was gonna say Star Wars.
Wait. Did you say yes?
It's all of Star Trek?
All of Star Trek.
It's got a similar track record to Star Wars.
It does because
You
it's
have the original movies.
I think you have a connection with it more because you've shared it with your dad.
I'm gonna pick Star Trek.
Ooh, upset. What?
But so you have the first 6 movies, which it's bad, good, bad, good, bad, good.
The odd and even thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you get the Next Generation movies, which only has one good one.
Mm-hmm.
You have First Contact, which is the good one. The other ones are like middling to bad. Nemesis should not exist. Decanonize it. End it now. I think it is not canon anymore.
I remember when that one came out in theaters.
It's so bad. I don't even think it's canon anymore because they're gonna have the Picard show.
Mm-hmm.
What about Deep Space Nine?
Deep Space Nine is sick. Deep Space Nine is like low key probably the best one. It's like that or TNG for me. I love the original like series as well.
Mm-hmm.
Though there are lots of episodes you have to skip because they're fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Voyager is fine to bad.
Isn't that not canon?
No, I think it's canon.
Oh, it
I think
is?
it's fine.
Okay.
They have like they're like old Star Wars tier bad when it comes to like what's canon and what's not canon.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to Star Trek Enterprise, which is terrible until it's not terrible anymore. It's like terrible for like a season and a half, and then it's like a good season, and then it's terrible again. And then you get... What else is there? We have also... Would it just be... We have the Abrams movies, which I like the 2 Abrams movies, despite them being pretty like low brain, like they're just action flicks, which I think is like fine. Yeah. Like, that's not what Star Trek's about.
What about Justin Long's movie?
Justin Long movie's okay.
Okay.
It's definitely my least favorite of the 3.
Oh really? I like that more than Into Darkness personally.
Though
I do.
Though at all 3 of those movies they really like the Beastie Boys.
They really do.
They really like the Beastie Boys.
I like the Beastie Boys.
I like the Beastie Boys.
I think I felt like Beyond was much more of like it harkened back to old Star Trek in like a better way than.
That's the name of that movie, isn't it?
Yeah, Star Trek Beyond.
See, I forgot the name of that movie. It's just the 3rd Star Trek movie in like the new
trilogy. Yeah, but it's just like I liked it because it was like a bottle episode. It was like the old series was. You know?
Yeah, kind of. It's like Star Trek Next Generation 3 Resurgence, I think is the name of the fucking movie, where it's just like an hour and a half long episode.
Yeah.
It's just a longer episode where they crash the Enterprise again. Because they're like, oh, we have a budget, let's crash the Enterprise. They used to do that in every single movie. Because then in the next movie, they have to have a new shiny Enterprise. And then there's the Discovery stuff, which is all terrible. I hate it. It's like fucking bullshit. Just meme. It's literally meme tier. Like...
Don't they swear in that, like, fuck, or something like that?
I don't think they say fuck, but they're edgy as hell, and like they're like spend episodes like bullying people, which is no one bullies anyone in Star Trek. What the fuck? Gene Roddenberry was an anti-bully. Nobody bullies
You
it.
know so much about it.
So you like Star Trek more than Star Wars? I never would have expected that.
I love Star Trek. I love them both. Like, they're both so good. There's a lot more Star Trek than Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I'll give them that. That's an advantage.
So would you say that the
I would die for the crew of the Next Generation Enterprise.
All right, then in Star Trek it is.
I'm not dying for Finn or Poe. I would have... In episode 7, I would have died for Poe Dameron. Not anymore.
All right.
Fuck Poe Dameron, man.
Hey,
I feel bad for
what
Oscar
do you think I like more?
I think you like Star Wars more. I don't think you give a shit about Star Trek.
I don't know shit about
I
Star
don't
Trek.
think you give a shit about Star Trek. Though you do like those new J.J. Abrams movies.
I do.
They're good enough.
Have you seen the Justin Long one or no? Not yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Did we see that together?
The
Beyond?
Beyond.
Yeah, we saw it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just waiting.
I enjoyed it.
I'm just waiting for Quentin Tarantino's 4th one as well. I'm waiting.
Oh my god, I forgot.
Is that the one he's ghostwriting?
Yeah.
He's such a cheater with that. That's cheating.
Yeah, I know.
But fuck it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, Kill Bill Part 1 and 2 is cheating.
What I need.
That's true.
What I need is like a Tarantino. Like it's Tarantino in Star Trek. I just want like long. I don't even want the movie to have a plot. Like I want it to. I honestly want like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but just on an Enterprise.
Yeah.
Like I want that more than anything else.
Well, he said in an interview that it was the Chris Pine crew. That's what he was writing for.
Oh,
really?
Whoa.
It was the Chris Pine.
I would take that.
Wow.
I like those guys. They're fine. They don't upset me in any way.
I feel like because they were gonna make a 4th one, but then it got canned because I think the actors they
were all doing other stuff.
They were all doing other stuff, and I think they asked for more money, and they were like, "Oh, we can't do that," because they were gonna bring Chris Hemsworth back too as George.
They're gonna bring him back as Picard as Kirk's dad.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, and but then that didn't happen. But now with freaking Quentin Tarantino attached, you know that they're gonna greenlight that shit no matter what.
I hope so. I would watch the shit. Like I said though, I want just like because my favorite episodes of TNG and Deep Space Nine are like the ones where they're just like bullshitting around, like fucking about on the ship and not giving a shit. Like there's like episodes where like Worf is like walking around, and he's like, and his son Alexander's telling lies, and he's like, my son is telling falsehoods. What do I do? Like, there's like episodes where like Data learns how to play the violin, and like learns how to turn. He makes a Vulcan cry. God damn it! He makes Spock's dad cry
With a violin?
Yes, he plays Brahms. He plays one of Brahms' symphonies, and it's like, it's really good.
That's
like,
cool.
after I watched that episode, I was like, I'm just going to go on YouTube and just like listen to classical music for like a month straight.
I love how this whole Star Wars review turned into this whole thing about Star Trek.
I love Star Trek.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars too.
You're the one who brought it up.
That's true. It's true. It's my fault. But yeah, that was my little game. And if you're at home, hopefully you played along. Like, which series do you like better?
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Post it in the comments below. Hit subscribe, click that bell, thumbs up.
Holy shit, Jay. Yeah.
Yeah, you've become a
Jacob's
YouTuber.
the hard carry right now.
You've become a YouTuber. But
Yeah,
I think that's pretty much it. That's all we got to say. That's it for this episode, I guess. Unless you guys want to talk about anything else.
No, I'm good. I think we went over our hour.
I think we did.
limit.
We did.
Easy mode.
Whoops.
No,
It's
that's
okay.
alright.
It's okay. All right. That should be it.
Yeah, what do we got?
Well, we ended it with Star Trek, so I guess we gotta say, live long and suck.